Hi, this is Deputy Chief Stacy here at the Peoria Fire Department. Today we're going to talk about a fire that A Shift had at the 7300 block of West Paradise. Please enjoy the video.
Put a fan at the front door, secure utilities.
I copy, coming in the front door. Utilities.
PD said that they are working on getting all clear on that house. This house is vacant. They were unable to determine if anyone here.
Around the Paradise.
But they did say people do live here.
Last time.
Man, copy, they're still offensive.
About 5 o'clock in the morning, we get dispatched to a working house fire. This is what we rolled up on. Engine 193 was just ahead of us, and Engine 191 was just right behind Engine 193. 193 gave a good on-scene report and passed command to us.
Engine 193 to command.
193, go ahead.
Did I copy? You want me to be interior?
That's affirmative, Bob, thank you.
Please, we're going to go for a quick search while we can, then we'll get probably a spot.
Copy that.
Under command, we need an address when you get one.
I'll get you one. Get you hard.
So at this point, we're sitting here, we're looking at this house, and there's a lot of smoke coming off out of the west side, out of the roof, and obviously the east side, it has fully vented through the roof. So we're not going to put the ladder truck up there. But if you look at the front door, you'll see there's not a lot of smoke coming out, if any, and the window on the east side above the fire. So what I'm thinking is we have a fully involved attic fire.
BC 152 is here.
Band Engine 157.
157, go.
Think chance for you guys to go around the block on there from the east, lay in line from that side.
Yeah, that's permanent.
Hey. Hi, Bob Graholski, Captain with Peoria Fire Department, Engine 193 A Shift. From our angle and from our approach, there weren't any hydrants. There were some shown on the MCT, but as we approached, they were not positioned where they showed they were on the map. So we proceeded into the fire. Single-story house. We had fire through the roof, the back side, which would be the northeast portion of the house. Upon arrival, pulled past the house. Our hydrant was going to be in front of us. We pulled past for a couple of reasons. Number one, we want to leave the front of the building for the ladder, and the way the building was burning, should we need to put a stang on it and protect an exposure to the east, that would have been our best angle to do that. I went on scene with an on-scene report of fire through the roof. We'd be handjacking a line. Initially, be offensive. There was a portion of the house on the west that appeared to have bedrooms that we could still make entry into. Being that time of the morning, there was a pickup truck in the driveway, and didn't have any reports, didn't see anybody standing out in front signaling that they were out. So we made an initial attack with an 1 3/4 inch. We were able to force the front door, gain access, and visibility was pretty good. We could see that the fire had burned through. We had fire showing in the northeast corner of the building. Moved toward that location. Bill Johnson was on the nozzle that morning, and directed him to start applying water in that area, knocked down a lot of the fire that was in the kitchen and the dining room, and for him to stay there, operate that hose line right there. My other firefighter, Dan Ells, came up and joined me. We decided that we would make a search to the left to those bedrooms that we thought we could get in. Smoke level wasn't bad, not much heat as it had already vented through the roof. We still had good visibility. Let my nozzleman, Bill Johnson, know that we were leaving them for just a second. We were going to make a search to the left, and completed that and didn't find anybody.
Hi, I'm Tony Neely, captain on ladder 191 on A shift. As we came around the corner, we could see that the fire had already breached the roof. Bobby got there first, gave a pretty good report, fire through the roof, and my mindset was when we came around the corner, there's some houses in that neighborhood that are really close together, and I remember telling the guys, hey, we're gonna have to hurry or we're gonna end up burning a couple houses down because the exposures are really close in there. But when we came around the corner, I saw that it wasn't that neighborhood. There was a little bit of spacing, but since it was through the roof, I told Gobster, the engineer on the ladder, to get us a defensive spot. So he stopped short of the house, set the truck at a 45, and we got orders to put a fan in the door and secure utilities. There wasn't really any option to go to the roof and make a cut on this house. It was completely through the roof. Middle of the house was gone pretty much.
So at this point we had a hand line on the inside. We had a backup hand line on the inside backing up 193. We had a fan at the front door to help remove smoke, combustible gases. The ladder truck had done their functions.
Told the guys to set a fan. While John was getting dressed, I secured utilities. We walked in. Groholski's crew had already gone interior. They stationed a firefighter at the front door, and they started doing a search on the west side of the house. So I walked in, took a look. It was pretty clear. There wasn't a lot of smoke in there because the fire had vented itself and was coming through the roof. And for some reason, the second due engine hadn't arrived yet. So I told the guys, hey, let's work our way to the east side of the house. We'll get a hand line off of engine 193 and we'll start hitting it from the east side. So that's what we did.
Man, copy, still offensive.
Copy, still offensive. B191 is on scene.
Lessons learned for this fire. I don't usually use the word marginal for an attack mode. It's either offensive or defensive. But this one, after we pulled by and had a good look at it, the way the fire was positioned, and especially after we made the front door, what the conditions were, I felt that we could certainly make a search and extended a search and rescue effort to what was the bedrooms and the rooms on the west side of the house. That was still tenable, and if there had been a victim in there, survival profile for them probably would have survived if we had anybody inside there.
Man to interior. Bob, are we going to be able to attack this fire from the interior? Copy that. Ain't luck putting any water on it.
Alright, Stacy, that second roof, kind of middle or whatever. What we can't see behind this area right here is gone, where the flame is. I mean, it's completely gone. No rafters, no nothing. This is starting to catch here, obviously. Didn't seem to be much active fire, just a lot of pushing smoke on this west side.
Once the 2nd Battalion got on scene, BC 152, we assigned them safety. They suited up, did a 360 around the building, and they let me know that there was an AC unit on the roof right above and right near where the main fire involvement is on the northeast side of the house that was possibly going to come in through the roof. We also knew that there was a pool in the backyard that all crews had to be aware of. Safety then took a pretty conservative view of what was going to happen with that AC unit and kept all crews out of the area where that could possibly fall through and hurt somebody.
Well, this house had vaulted ceilings, and in general, when you go into a house with a vaulted ceiling, a 6-foot pike pole is not going to cut it, unless you're 10 feet tall. So that's one of the things, when you walk in the door, you may not have everything you need. So bring it all to the front door with you. If you can carry the tools, carry them to the front door and drop them. That'll save you from having to go back to your truck and get what you need. So if you're going to take pike poles, what's the difference? Take 2 more with you. Take them all. Drop them at the front door. It'll just save you time. So I guarantee when those guys got in there, they weren't going to reach the ceiling with a 6-foot stick. And you can't tell from the outside of a house if it's got vaulted ceilings or if
Copy that. Copy, you got it all clear. You're getting the fire under control. Is everything still good inside? Copy that. Is engine 195 up?
That's, yeah, generally what, I learned this lesson long ago from Captain DeBiro when I first started moving up. And I was a firefighter on his truck. We'd get to the fire, he'd set the brakes, he'd tell me throw the ladder and get the saws. And I was like the Tasmanian devil. I'm off the truck, I got my tools, I'm focused. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna throw a ladder, I'm gonna go to the roof, I'm gonna cut a hole. And it seemed like I was always standing there going, where is the old man at? What is he doing? Why is it taking him so long? It's taking him forever. And he'd walk up, we'd go up. He always knew exactly where to cut the hole. Every time he knew exactly where to cut the hole. And I never really thought about it until I started moving up in my career. I'm the engineer. Tommy Marshall's retired now. They get me to where I'm moving up, and I get a fire. Paul Carmo's a BC. I'm the captain. I got Rich Rooney, Mike Selmer, and Joe Manning. That's the crew. We pull into the condos on 94th Avenue, just south of T-Bird. Little duplexes in there. Ripping fire. Paul tells us, go to the roof. I get up on the roof, and the roofs are flat over there. A lot of smoke coming out. I didn't make sure all the guys had tools in their hands. We get up on the roof, we had a little miscommunication, we had to go back and get some tools. So anyway, I tell Mike where to cut the hole. He cuts the hole. It didn't go as planned, not like when John was there for some reason. Everything went smooth, even though he didn't know what he was doing, crazy old man. We get the hole cut, I get down off the roof, and where I cut the hole happened to be the edge of this house. If I would have taken those guys one more step over, we would have been on an aluminum awning, we all would have hit the ground. So I get back to the station, I tell John about it when he comes back, and he looks at me like I'm retarded and says, well, didn't you take a lap around the house before you put those guys on the roof? And I said, what? What are you talking about? He said, what do you think takes me so long to get to the ladder? You're always in such a rush. Taught me a valuable lesson. I got away with one that day. I didn't hurt those guys, but from then on, before I go on the roof, I take a lap around the house. I look at both sides, the back, and I decide where I'm going to cut the hole pretty much before I go on the roof. I take a look and see where we're going before we get up there. So if you have the time, take a look at your surroundings, take it all in before you commit, because it can get you in trouble. And that's what I was doing on this one. I just wanted to see where the fire had gone, where those guys were going, and determine that the best way for us to do some good to help out the engine guys was to get another line on the east side of the house.
You guys go interior to hand line assist engine 193 with the fire in the attic, please. Man, go ahead.
Advise you have an AC unit coming in on the east portion of this building and also pull in the backyard.
Go ahead, Mike. Copy that, thank you. It's the AC unit that's coming in. Is it in the hallway?
I didn't even know you were in. I was letting these guys know it's above the hallway, right above the kitchen, and it's coming down. So you gotta be careful in there.
Copy that. Command to interior.
The air conditioner started to come in later on towards the end of the fire where it had burned through. We got a call from safety saying that the air conditioner was going to come in. And after the fire was over, the fire inspector was there and asked us if we could pull it down. And I've seen air conditioners come through the roof before, and usually it's like a slow kind of falling down. It doesn't hit the ground catastrophically. So when he asked us to do that, I thought the quick way to do it would be to cut the bottom cord of the trusses. So I had Matt get the saw. He was a little bit too short, he couldn't reach them. So the plan was to cut a cross brace, hit a bottom cord, hit the next cord, and then my thinking was the third cord would have dropped this thing. So I had Wrightsman back me up. He had me by the back of the belt since I was the tallest guy in the crew. I cut the cross bracing. I cut the second one. As soon as I hit the second one, that air conditioner hit the ground like a ton of bricks. It would have killed you if that thing would have, if someone would have been under it, it would have killed you. That was impressive. I mean, it hit the ground like a ton of bricks, literally, boom. Square, no slowing down, no nothing. It would have squashed you like a pancake. So when you hear air conditioners coming in, that gave me a whole different outlook on them for sure.
Once we get a lost stop on the fire and the investigator starts doing his work, there are some things prior to his arrival and his starting his work that we need to consider. And one is only shutting off the main at the electrical panel so they can see which breakers were tripped. This will help them in their fire cause investigation. And we also want to do as little damage as possible to put the fire out until they get a chance to come in, do some investigation, take some pictures, and start the job that they need to do. Once they've done that, and if it's necessary for us to go back in and continue overhaul and some salvage, then we can do that. Thank you for watching. I hope everybody got a little something out of this. I'm Chief Irvine, Peoria Fire Department.